Hey everyone, welcome back. We're in episode 5. The title is When You're Tired, but Still Need It. The Joy and Resilience Practice, helping you thrive one story at a time. Rooted in joy, rising in resilience. I'm Mike Cameron. Today's episode is for people who keep showing up. The people who are tired, but still need it. Maybe you're supporting your family, leading a team, caring for aging parents, working in healthcare, teaching, volunteering, or simply trying to keep all the balls in the air. Sometimes life doesn't slow down just because you're exhausted. People still need us. Emails still arrive. The laundry still needs folding. Dinner still needs making. Life keeps moving. And somewhere in all of that, we quietly believe that being tired is just normal. You know, you've been running on empty when someone asks you how you're doing, and your first thought is, what day is it? Today, we're talking about emotional fatigue, burnout, compassion fatigue, and what resilience looks like when your tank feels almost empty. Because maybe resilience isn't pretending you're okay. Maybe resilience is recognizing you're tired before you completely run out of gas. Let's get into it. Before we jump into today's conversation, I want to share something that happened this week. I found myself standing at the kitchen counter, answering emails while eating lunch, and already thinking about the meeting after lunch. I wasn't tasting the food. I wasn't taking a break. I was simply checking another box. And I caught myself asking, when did this become normal? Maybe you've had moments like that too. Maybe you've driven somewhere and barely remember the drive. I do that a lot. I'll actually drive past it. Maybe you've poured a second cup of coffee before finishing the first. Maybe you've been so focused on helping everyone else that you forgot you needed care too. That moment reminded me why this conversation matters. Because sustainable capacity isn't built by doing more. It's built by noticing when we need to do something differently. Today, I'm joined by my guest, Christina Sappington, someone who understands what it means to keep showing up while learning how to care for yourself at the same time. Together, we're exploring how we continue caring without losing ourselves in the process. Good afternoon, Christina, and thank you for coming on to season 2. How are you?
Thanks, Mike. Honestly, everything you just said is like my everyday. It's as if
I knew you were a good one for this topic.
I have a 14-year-old son, and I have twin 9-year-old daughters. And so pretty much every day I'm eating I'd say my lunch, but the crumbs of my children.
The crumbs of my children. That sounds like a storybook. We should write that one.
All the vegetables they choose not to eat and answering my emails at the same time. That's my everyday.
That's amazing. And I know, Christina, for those that don't know you, obviously you're a mom who is extremely busy. Would you share some other things that you do in your life?
Well, I used to be a client at the Kings County Family Resource Center, where I found refuge and peer support amongst other exhausted moms.
Yes.
And then the president there, or the chair, kindly asked me to join the board to represent exhausted moms.
Yes.
And by doing that, it only inspired me to further advocate for my community. And so now I'm a Kings County Councilor. I represent U- and Greenwich.
And you're 2 years in, Tina? Christina?
Almost 2 years.
Sorry, before we go on, do you want me calling you Christina or Tina? Because I know you as Tina, but I'll flip back and forth.
You can call me Tina. I only go by Christina Sappington because when you become a politician, you want to be transparent, and that's my legal name. Okay. But everyone that knows me calls me Tina.
Okay, just in case I slip between, I'll probably go to Tina.
Sure.
How many, you're in the second year, or are you finishing the second?
We're almost at halftime.
2 years?
Yep.
Wow. So you've been up to being a counselor, and through being a counselor, what other things? Because I know you're busy. I know the word busy comes up. Christina Sappington's there.
I'm the chair of the Police Advisory Board.
Right.
I'm the chair of Diversity Kings. I'm the president of the Valley Women's Business Network.
Oh, right.
Those are a few of my passions.
Lots of the connections, right? And I do know you are a very big advocate with social media, and it's great seeing you out there, because I think for people that step into the role, they forget like how many events there actually are and how to be present. And I know when I read the opening, when I hear the word showing up, that kind of equates to you and what I've seen you've been doing for the past 2 years, in particular being a counselor. Like, you do show up.
Thank you. My degree's in English and Mass Communications, and I was in radio for about 2 decades.
Right.
So this
DJ
is what
Sapp,
I've been
right?
doing. DJ Tina Sapp. So that is kind of what I've been doing for about 2 decades.
Right. Yeah. Out there and being present.
Yeah.
So let's get into the topic of what I wrote you, and you filled in today on short notice. You said, I can talk about being tired.
Oh, I can talk about being tired.
So let's get into a few of it, and I'll throw out some questions.
Sure.
And again, just feel comfortable to be who you are. And I may reference Alex once in a while and see what he thinks. But here's what I'm going to start with. Being tired doesn't mean you're failing. It might simply mean you've been carrying a lot. Can you speak to that, or what are your thoughts around that you would share?
So I had newborn twins. And I often say that it isn't having twins that's necessarily the hard part. It is hard and tiring. It's the fact that I only have 2 hands, right? I can only hold one baby at a time. And so we would be tired, my husband and I, and exhausted. And at the end of the night, when I would feel like a failure, when I'd say, oh, but I didn't get to the laundry.
Right. Oh,
or, the sink is full of dishes. I didn't get to do that. But we're just too exhausted, so we're calling it a night. Our almost daily affirmation was, but did we survive?
Did we survive?
Are the kids healthy? And yes, the first year or two, the bar was set pretty low. But that was really it.
Where it came from, yes.
Yeah. Are the kids happy? Are they healthy? Did we survive?
And did we feed them?
Yes.
Or was that a question too?
Did we survive? I guess would be. I mean, it might have been bologna sandwiches, but we fed them.
They were fed. Yes. And how did you recognize? Did you know when you? I guess you said you had the twins and Perry at that time, correct?
Yeah, my son is 14, and the girls are 9, so they're about 5 years apart. And honestly, he was quite helpful. I mean, when both of our hands were full, and we'd say, "Could you go get us a diaper?" He was able to help us.
He was the assistant, the good big brother. So, why do you think helpers? Because you just described the helpers. And when you had the twins and Perry, were you here in the Valley at that time, Tina? Or what was the kind of network you might have had or not had?
I was in Ottawa, but I will tell you, in regards to helpers, my first child, and I think a lot of parents, this can resonate with them. My first child, I was so wanting to be perfect at it, so good at it.
Great.
And I read everything, whether it's social media or whatever, and tried to do all the right things. No screen time, just fully engaged. And then also I didn't invite people until my house looked perfect. I had to clean before people came, right? And so actually, when having the twins, it was quite liberating, because when you have 2 babies at the same time, and then also a third child that you're really wanting to not have him feel like a third wheel,
right?
You realize you need help. You're outnumbered. There's only 2 of you, and there's 3 of them. And so then, again, you maybe lower the bar. I invited people, whether my house was messy. And in fact, what was liberating about that was people were happy. A lot of people were happy to help. Those weird friends that actually like to clean, have them come over. And if you don't have friends, recruit them.
Yes,
whenever I encounter people that say, I love to organize or I love to clean, I'm like, you're my new best friend.
I got a spot for you here. I have a spot. So I'm picturing that. And at that time, were you DJing at that time? or had you stepped out of it at that point?
I actually ran a voiceover studio so that I could work while raising children.
Wow.
And so between nap times, I'd run down to my voiceover studio. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were keeping things going. And you said the liberation came. You're trying to run a career.
Yes.
And you have your husband. You have
Yes.
Perry. Were there things, you talked about the word perfection when you had it liberated.
Yeah.
What things changed? What did you finally say, like, yeah, whatever?
I think, again, first child, I had these expectations of perfection. But when you had twins, all of a sudden, you learned the art of asking for help. And then I would say...
Asking for help, okay.
Yeah. And then my second thing that I learned with the liberation was saying no.
Saying no.
And I have a really good example of that.
Okay, yes, I was going to ask. Share what you've learned.
One of my friends and I, we were in a parenting class, and she said, would you like to walk over to the cafe? And
Okay.
she had one child, and I had 3. And she said, would you like to walk over to the cafe and we could have coffee? And if it was when I only had one child or before children, I probably would have said, sure. Mm-hmm. But I was so exhausted. There was nothing appealing about that offer whatsoever.
Yes.
And I'm still very proud of myself for this one. I said to her, you know what? If you need some you time and you like to walk,
Yes.
enjoy that. I'll meet you there. And I drove to the cafe.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I ordered my coffee.
Yes.
And I had my self-care the way I enjoy it, which is to enjoy that cup of coffee.
Yes.
She got to have her self-care the way she enjoyed it, which was a nice quiet walk.
Right.
And then we got to meet at the cafe.
Right.
And have our peer dialogue and enjoy coffee together. And I don't know if before twins I would have had the nerve to do that. I wouldn't have wanted to
You would have
put them out. But I said, nope, that's not what I'd like to enjoy. And so it's those sorts of things that only happened with having twins. And so I say the liberation happened because of that.
I think that's a great example. So prior to that, like that means prior you might have just
I probably
tried to take the 3.
I probably would have walked with her because I would have wanted to please her.
Oh, there we go.
She was asking for a walk to the cafe, and she probably assumed that I would enjoy that too. But I was exhausted.
You were probably like, "Oh my God, I don't think that's gonna
conserve my energy."
Yes, and I think that's brilliant. You just sort of changed the frame and said, "How about I meet you here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive my kids over, and we'll continue this."
Yeah,
that's a great piece of advice. That's awesome. So, with your experience in parenting, and the girls are
9.
Oh, I thought they were 15. No.
They think they are.
They're very entertaining. I know they must take lots of energy. So they're 9 and Perry's now 14. So you're getting the early teens coming up and you have Perry in the middle. You and Tim are very active. What things are you practicing now that if you recognize burnout in yourself or like, I've been to the 12th meeting of the week? What things are inserted now for you, Christina, that you and Tim do or you do?
Well, we're very busy people.
Right.
And so we will find very simple ways to reconnect. And it could be as simple as me running home to make us lunch because I know he works from home, that even though the refrigerator is just about 5 feet away.
Yes.
If it's like you, he will get in that habit of answering those emails and doing that work
Not
and
taking that little break.
And he will forget to eat.
Yeah.
And me, I need to take myself out of the office, right?
Okay, yeah.
And get home once in a while to reconnect with him or away from events and actually
or see what's happening in the fridge or not.
Exactly. And I will make us both sandwiches. And even though he hasn't left the house, we reconnect in that way. Sometimes if we really physically need to leave the house,
yes.
Perry is old enough to babysit. He has his babysitting license.
Oh,
He's
yay.
14.
Go
We're
Perry.
living the dream now.
Go Perry.
And we'll literally literally go just for coffee, just to get out of the
Great.
house and be able to talk.
So you're even looking, because I often hear people say, oh, when I get the time, or they're waiting to do something, or when I retire, when I do a lot of things. I'm hearing you said it might be a 20-minute lunch. It may
Yes.
be an hour walk, or
Yes.
go out. So you're taking it like, no, we're going to fit this in now and make it part of life. So I think that's brilliant. I love it. I love it. That sounds like what small practices would you do each day then? If that's what you're doing to connect with Tim, are there things you do in the run of being Christina Sappington, the counselor, the mother, the one on the go, the wife? What things do you do in the moment for you to restore your energy? Because you do deal with a lot of people, and you're obviously in the past week, there's been many different things that have transpired in your presence.
You have to find people that you trust, especially in the field that I'm in. You have to find
Trust.
peers that you trust, that you can confide in. And even though your spouse is supposed to be your best friend, sometimes you don't want to do it all, especially when it comes to your professional life or your children, because you need to be able to be strong for each other. And if all you're doing is just giving each other negativity,
Yes.
then we can't be strong for each other. And so I don't know. As I find, especially for me, I need my girlfriends.
Oh, yes.
And so we go out and we make time for each other, and we go have girl time. And then
What's
I
your
come
girl
back
time
refreshed.
like? I've had women on for the past
Yes.
8 episodes, and
Yeah.
all of them describe girl time. What's yours look like when you go?
I have to go somewhere really pretty. I'm not
Something pretty, okay.
I'm not a huge drinker,
Right.
But I do like to go to the wineries for the scenery.
Understandable.
And sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times the best food is there too. You don't necessarily have to drink to go to a winery.
Correct.
And so us girls will get away to
vistas.
one of the many wineries
Yep.
in the valley, and then I do love to thrift.
Oh,
I love
thrifting.
thrifting.
Yeah, thrifting. There's a
That's
lot
my
that do.
self-care.
That's good. That's you. Like
Yeah.
you get to go and do the things. So when you're thrifting, for example, is there something in particular, or is it just I'm going in and what I find is what I find? Are you kind of like, I know I need to go, I need to have Tina time?
I was a radio DJ, Mike, and so my wardrobe was very different when I
was.
worked in a padded room and nobody saw me.
You in a padded room.
Yes. So usually it was T-shirts and shorts
Okay.
and flip-flops.
Yep.
And then when you become a politician, that's not acceptable. And then again, if you haven't heard, I'm married with 3 kids.
Married
and
with her. Isn't that a show? Do you have a show?
So I need to be able to affordably
Okay,
have
gotcha.
business
Okay,
attire.
I
And
gotcha.
that's what I look for. Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of got 2 edges there, and that's great.
That's how I justify my shopping to my husband.
Did you hear that, Tim?
I need professional attire.
And so when you're going to, and I love that you picked the wineries because it has some of the best vistas. You go to Luckett's or, I don't know, name one of the 15 or 20 that are in the area. They have great vistas. So when you're there and you're sharing with your friends,
Yes.
it's total catch up, giggle, and chuckle, or is it sometimes the, hey, I got something heavy, or is it more light fare or everything?
All of it. It is both church. It is both therapy.
yes.
It is all of it.
All the things.
And then also it is getting out into nature.
Right, 'cause you're sitting at- that's
and
a
it's
good point.
usually quiet, especially if you go during the day.
Yes.
When the kids are in school. So it's a time of also reflection, admiring the gardens,
Right,
seeing what's in
doing that whole
season.
walk.
Going to the winery can be quite mindful. It can be a practice of mindfulness.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And really, I love the other fact too of supporting local. Like you're
Yeah.
doing that just naturally. I don't know
Yeah.
how else to say that. I think that's fantastic. Now I'm going to ask another question where we've talked about a couple pieces where you've talked about your strategies and recovery positions of what do you do? Are there things you recognize about yourself that is a warning sign, like, oh, when I do this, or Is there some feeling you get, or physically, mentally, or someone like Tim says to you, Christina, or is there something that you recognize in yourself like,
It's funny. My mother's Korean, and you know what? I shouldn't even say as if that matters. Also, my father, he was in the military and a police officer. I wasn't raised in an environment where we spoke about our feelings.
Correct. Yeah,
and
I can see that. Yeah.
It has been something that I'm actually, ironically, learning more from my children. I don't know if school seems to have more of a dialogue about feelings. I find that my children have a huge vocabulary to be able to name their feelings.
Okay.
It'll often catch me off guard.
Yeah.
When Betty will say, "I'm feeling a little overwhelmed." And wow, that's okay. That's a really precise name to what you're feeling.
Yes.
Or Patty will come up to me and say, "I am agitated."
That's
that's very specific,
That's specific.
right? And so I've been learning from my children to better talk about my feelings, but also it's interesting that you ask about how you feel about it. For a past couple of months, I have also been trying to talk about the physical feelings.
Physical feelings, okay.
And
yeah.
I have been saying things to my husband and my children. Hey, I'm feeling tension right now.
Tension, okay.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm struggling to talk right now. And it's almost a warning sign to my children, right? Oh, mom's struggling to talk. And that's huge when she's a radio DJ, right? Or a politician. These are two types of people that do not normally struggle to talk.
Right, exactly. And so when you say the word tension, and you said, is it physical, like
chest
literally
tension,
here, chest tension?
shoulder tension.
Anywhere else?
Sometimes it'll go up my back so much so I thought I was having a heart attack once.
Okay,
yeah.
that's severe. Okay.
Because in case you don't know, women's heart attack symptoms present differently.
They totally
It can
present
be in the
differently.
back, heads up.
So that's interesting that your children have been helping you learn something and you're recognizing physical things. What are the things that help bring you back around into recovery if that's something recent that's happened? What do you do? Those around you recognize something's up now that you've made the statement.
I hope this doesn't sound awful, and I hope other parents have these experiences too. But sometimes
They probably do.
I feel like my children are raising me. Sometimes because
maybe.
Betty is very wise beyond her years.
Oh, wow.
And she has an old soul. She's my middle child, and so she really wants to kind of
Old middle child by 30 seconds, I've heard.
Yes, by 30 seconds. So she's my middle child, and she says she'll just go, "Do you need a hug?"
Oh, my God.
At the age of 9, she's looking at me. I'm almost 50. "Do you need a hug?" And I, as a child, would go, Yes, I do. I do need a hug.
And it just changes everything.
And we'll get each other a hug. And it just is the most
That's awesome. Good on you, Betty.
simple way to, take you out of a frustrating,
bring you back
agitated moment.
Agitated and overwhelmed. That's what we've learned.
Exactly.
Does Perry do the same? Does Perry
You
do-
know what? He does too.
Does he?
Yeah. I
That's
guess I
great.
just thought of Betty because literally just yesterday in a moment
This is
she
an
said,
example.
"Do you need a hug?" Yes. You know what? Yes,
Just
I do.
Authentic, real, there in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so great.
They also are great at the mindful moments too, right? Like,
Yeah, that
look
is
at what that
wonderful.
cloud looks like. Kids do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good to help. That's awesome. So having your kids there, you have Tim, you've got the strategies. When we're here on the podcast too, we often try and reflect on what others have talked about. And we're talking about the joy and resilience piece. What are things that you're seeing in your day-to-day that I don't want to get into anything too much, but other than maybe a little talk on what are you seeing from people in your day-to-day, basically? Are you seeing joy and resilience? Are you seeing just flat out frustration, unhappiness? What's your experience been over the past 2 years, Christina, when you're out in public and And I know it's vast.
It is. It's so vast, and we don't want to get too political.
But just the general sense of
Exactly.
people.
Times are tough. Times are really tough. And you know what? We lived through the pandemic. And so if I
Correct.
bring it back to the pandemic, I saw such beauty as a parent in the pandemic, from, when we had to practice social isolation, but parents still finding a way for their children to have birthday parties. So I remember delivering birthday presents and being on the other side of the lawn and still seeing the joy of the child being, or celebrated and getting presents regardless of whether we couldn't physically touch.
Do the
I
hug.
feel like we're resilient in that way. We survived the pandemic.
Right.
And so I choose to focus on the beauty and the people that are advocating for their communities and that aren't willing to settle. But also, I think this is very important. Make sure you self-care. It's like when you're on the plane, unless you put that oxygen mask on yourself
that.
first,
I love
you
that.
can't take care of your children.
Right. And in your words, I can hear it too, sort of the respect and kindness of others to give people space and grace.
Yes.
You and I can have different opinions. You can be from a different country or grew up somewhere different. But the main point is we are both of one kind. We're
Yes.
both human. So
And
I
we've
know it's a
all had
hard thing.
different life
Yes,
experiences.
And we can all have a different moment throughout any day. Okay. We're going to move into the next section. Are you ready?
Oh, there's another section.
Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to do a tiny reflection,
Okay.
and then we're going to do the 7 questions, Christina. You get ready?
Okay.
Okay, she's ready. Alex, here we go. Maybe resilience isn't always pushing through. Maybe resilience is knowing when to pause, to breathe, to ask for help, to take a walk. All things Christina's talked about. To eat lunch away from the computer. I think you were mentioning that to
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
To laugh, which I've heard. To sleep. I don't think we covered sleep with you. Did you actually sleep?
What is this thing you call sleep?
And to remember that your well-being matters too. Because the people who care for others also deserve to be cared for.
And you can't care for others unless you care for yourself.
Yeah, it's the most
Yeah.
important person to start with. So let's jump into the questions that ground every episode. So, Christina, here's question 1 for you. What's one small moment of joy that's been grounding you lately? You may have touched on this with one of them, but maybe there's another one you could share.
My children are picking raspberries off the bushes that we planted.
Where are the berries?
Right in our yard, yes.
No way.
Yes.
How many boxes?
It's only been a handful,
I'm
but it's
teasing,
brought
I'm
me
teasing.
great joy.
That is great.
Yeah.
They must taste really good.
Yes.
I love raspberries.
Yes.
Thank you. Question 2. When you think of resilience, what's a moment you're really proud of? And you can choose whatever fits that for you. Because you've described a few. So is there any that sort of rings up?
Every time I look at my children, or if people tell me that my kids are really good kids,
yes.
I think, okay, we're doing okay
We're
here.
doing the good thing. Yes, yes. Yes, and I've had lots of interactions with them. They are characters. Each and every one of them.
characters.
I mean, Betty, I always call her Veronica, teasing her, but anyway, they're lovely. I can see why you would pick them.
Yeah.
Number 3, and I think you've touched on this too, Christina. What helps you recharge when your capacity feels low? So I know you've shared a couple. Is there another one you might suggest or go back to?
I think especially, again, I don't want to generalize, but for me, I felt like, and this might be my own issue, leaving my house, running away. I was afraid that might look like I was giving up or abandoning,
Right.
my
Yep.
children. And lately, what I have discovered is if I take myself away and come back refreshed, It's actually better for everyone. And so sometimes I do. I mean, I know before I said sometimes I take myself out of the office and come have lunch.
Right, yes.
Sometimes I'll take myself to the office for a quiet place to work.
The opposite, yes.
Right? And instead of getting frustrated that I don't have a quiet place to work at home,
Go find it.
Just go to the office, right?
Just go to the office.
Especially since the kids are out of school now, I've had to make that practice. And so that's what I do. I will make sure that I can leave and take time for myself and come back to.
I love it. So
Yeah.
you're trying to change what's happening by making a choice and returning.
That's
I love the
probably
refresh.
common for a lot of parents. When kids get out of school, all of a sudden your normal has to be a different routine, right?
Yeah, entertainment and full on everything. Yes, that's great. I do have to ask, are you still answering emails from your bed or anything like that? Like you're putting the phone away at night, or?
You know what?
Look at
No. I'm glad you asked about bed practice. My bed practice, this sounds kind of naughty, but it's not, because before I used to think I need to decompress, so I'll turn on something on Netflix or whatever, and I would always fall asleep before that episode ended. But what would happen is my husband would be going to bed alone. And so I've actually made the practice. We don't have a TV in our bed.
Okay.
So I've made the practice of, no, it's not even worth attempting watching that show.
That's gone
It's not
too.
going to happen. So I go upstairs.
There's the sleep part. We've covered it.
But I do check emails in my bed. And even last night, my husband had to move the phone because I fell asleep while the phone was in my hand. But at least I'm in the bed when he comes to bed.
Right, there you go. Okay, that's fantastic. I did have to ask that one as a little sub-question. Okay, number 4, Tina. Who reminds you to slow down?
Well, I guess my children have.
Your children, yeah.
Do you need a hug?
The hug one for sure.
Yes, I need a hug.
Yeah. That Betty. Number 5. And you've touched on this too. What's one habit that's helped protect your well-being? Is there one you'd like to refurb or add on to?
Find something that doesn't cost money that you've been saying that you wanted to do, and do it. I know a lot of times we've just been pushing aside, we'll get to it. And I read a lot. My job requires a lot of reading. But it's not really recreational reading.
Right, it's not entertainment.
And so I've made it a point that I'm going to start reading the books that I've been wanting to read.
Oh, good.
And even if I get a couple of pages done, and you know what? It gives you a sense of accomplishment because you're doing something.
That's
even though
different.
you're not, but we would put it off forever.
Right, it's the put off thing.
Yeah,
right,
and then not do it. And so if you can even just do 1 or 2 pages, you can say, I did that. And I did that for myself.
Right.
That was
Nobody
something
else.
I wanted to do. Right?
And even if you fell asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
You can reread it. No, that's great. Okay, this is the one I like asking all of our guests. If you could tell your younger self one thing about rest or resilience, what would it be, Tina?
If I could tell, we had so much energy when we were younger. Like rest and resilience was not a priority. I'm not kidding. I don't know what this thing you call sleep is. So I would say for my younger self, I would say that you are beautiful and you are strong and you are worth it. And don't let anybody else tell you what your standard of beauty or strength or worth should be. That would be what I would say.
That you would tell the younger
Yeah.
Tina. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Tina, for your time this afternoon and filling in and showing up like you always do.
Oh, thank you.
I also want to thank Alex, because I got to make sure, and the Space and Company and the girls. So here's what we're going to say to end our episode today. If you're listening today, I hope you'll remember this. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to prove your worth through exhaustion. Maybe today you can take a real lunch break. Go for a walk, call a friend, or simply stop for 5 minutes. Sometimes resilience begins there, stay rooted in joy, and keep rising in resilience. Take care of you, and we'll see you on the next episode.